The Outlanders Journey. Tier 1, Level 3. Chapter 7. Mock. You sense Ernog. Light floods your vision, blinding you for just a moment. His scent lingers as your sight settles, and you see his broad shoulders contorting with his strides, sprinting away from you. You give chase, yet the gap between you two feels infinite and impossible. There's a desperate heaviness in your chest. Your tongue is sticking out, flapping in the wind. You leap forward on all fours, the hairs on your back raised. You call out to him, and a shooting pain pierces your skull. Before you collapse into the grasses, you see him pause and peer over his shoulder. He sticks his fingers into his mouth and pries his face off his jaw. From the blackened opening, an otherworldly scream tears into your eardrums. You open your eyes to hot, blinding light swirling around you. Mock! Mock, stay with me! You can't move. Frantic footsteps scamper to you, and Rock's warm, slobbering tongue licks at your face. He's whimpering. Dura and Elder Lasha's voices are shouting in terror. "The curse!" cries Elder Lasha. "It's here!" Then, everything goes black. You feel coarse, dry vines snake around your body, digging into your skull, gouging their way into your brain. You've never felt such pain before, and with no time to cry out, you experience the passage of time, hundreds of years passing through you. Ancient memories swarming, eating away at you, faster than you can interpret any of them. The roots pulse with urgency, and with a simultaneous pull, you are torn apart into millions of fragments, dispersed through an interconnected network extended beyond the reaches of this forest and into the grasslands of your birthplace. Thousands of voices that speak no language writhe and claw their way to you, desperate to touch a strand of hair, a speck of skin, a drop of blood, a tattered piece of clothing. The voices are both afraid and enraged, expressing unequivocally a deep sickness spreading from the outer edges of your homeland, entering the forest at a rapid rate. The land, you understand, is dying. A hand you recognize takes you by the shoulder and shakes you. You open your mind's eye, and your body and limbs abruptly coalesce into one entity again. Ernog is looking down on you, a strange calmness in his eyes. A red sun is setting in the background. He lowers you to the ground, resting your head on his lap. "Mock, you are our future, our survival." He smiles warmly. He puts his large hands on your head and ruffles your hair. In the distance, the sun disappears behind the horizon, and his form begins to fade into the darkness. You grab his wrist, memorizing every feature you can. "I don't know how," you say. "If you die, we all die," he says. "Please don't go." "Live." He sets you down, and you fall through the solid earth, crossing through a threshold, murky like river water. Your brother's silhouette fades as you sink further and further away. Voices are calling out your name, but you can no longer hear them over the rising cacophony of buzzing insects. There's a shift, and you are no longer falling in, but floating up. You twist around, seeing a refracted glimmer of life bobbling at the surface of the water. You reemerge, tumbling onto the shallow, marshy surface, and you are all alone, surrounded by vibrant greens that you've never witnessed before. Bach. You hear your own laughter. You open your eyes to find yourself bounding through the bright, golden grasslands, so tall you can't see above them. You're a child again, your laughter so unbridled and unabashed. You wave a little white cloth in the air so your father doesn't lose sight of you. He whistles, and you stop, twirling around to face the sound. You run and run and run until you spot him knelt down, arms outstretched for you. You leap up, and he catches you and spins you around. You're still laughing. He's laughing, and he presses his nose against yours. You stare at his face, and as he continues to laugh, it begins to contort and morph into Mr. Sanos' visage. You try to wriggle away, and you are dropped to the ground. It's a hard impact on your tiny body, and as you stare up at Mr. Sanos' shadow, looming clouds begin to form overhead. The grasses wither away. Across the empty landscape, thousands of bison collapse into a decaying, oozing heap. Mr. Sanos' hands reach down and grab you. He cackles. Your mother's voice, far in the distance, calls to you, followed by the voices of the many dead bison. Save us! Please, save us! Save us! Save us! In your stomach, a violent fury begins to churn. Bile rises up and out of your throat, bitter and viscous. Blackness spreads from beneath your feet, wrapping itself around your ankles and calves and thighs and waist and stomach and chest and shoulders and arms. A necrosing mania, born out of the land itself, seeking retribution for what was done to it. You ball your hands into fists and you grab Mr. Sanos' face. His body reels back in surprise, and you clench your hands, squeezing his jaw into his teeth and tongue. His eyes bulge out of their sockets, his face turning first red, then purple, then black. You crush his head into itself with a loud crunch, and instantly, the rest of him crumples into a melted pile of flesh. Buck! You hear Laurel cry. Miley, Buck! You look up, staring only at the darkness. Her hands caress your face, but you cannot see. You reach up to her, but your hand touches only air. Heat is still rising out of your chest, the rage still swelling. You can no longer feel her, and the last thing you hear her shout is the word, "Brother!" You flail your arms uselessly, and, with a forceful pull, you are absorbed deep into the earth. Maya Lee, you hear softly. Come, my child. You blink once. Before you is a clear, paved pathway. You step forward, your toes sinking into the damp soil. You blink again, and the soil has warmed to soft, white sand. You hear the lapping of waves, and you smell the salty, humid air. You arrive at a beach, even more brilliant than the coastline you've seen by the lake. A gray-haired woman dips her feet and sits down. She pats the spot next to her without facing you. Come. You blink, and you're right there. Who are you? You ask. Why did you call for me? She does not answer. You plop yourself down next to her. You lean forward to see her face, but her voluminous hair blocks the view. It runs all the way down to her waist, lifted gently by the breeze. The recognition comes to you nonetheless. Ihi? You say. A warmth rushes to your head. A wave washes over your feet. It's cold. You can't help but flinch. The woman raises a shriveled, bony hand, and the waters go completely still. Child of the wildlands, of the matron weaver, she says, I have been waiting for you. Me? You say, pointing at yourself. I am seeking a successor to watch over these lands after I am gone. She pulls up her sleeves, revealing the blackened boils along her arms. I don't understand. My time is coming. Should you find me, I will teach you all that I know. You'll teach me everything? Will I be able to control my powers? If you are willing to learn. What if I don't want these powers? What do you wish for then, child? I want to go back home. I want you to take my powers away so I can go back to my family. Child, she says gently, there may not be a home to return to. You blink, and for a moment, you see a vision of the forest, now rotten with the stench of decay. It is spreading too quickly for me to contain. Sylvanos's protection is nearing its end. Her gray fingers extend out and caress your chin. Despite its frightening appearance, her hand is soft. She turns towards you, and you finally see her face, fully deteriorated on the right side. One of her eyelids is rotted away. The bones of her cheeks and jaw and nose are exposed. You recoil, nearly falling back, and you shake your head vigorously. "No," you say. "I want to go home. I don't want this. I don't want to." You scramble back to your feet, and you sprint up the beach, towards the now darkened road. "My child." But before she finishes, you bolt away. You run and run. You glance over your shoulder for a moment. The woman has risen to her feet, watching silently as you go. You hear the hissing and screeching of cicadas around you. It was that summer of your birth when the cicadas emerged. You screamed every night with them, as though you wished you were never born. On your chest was a strange claw-like birthmark that the elders saw as a curse, as though an evil being had grabbed hold of your heart while you were in your mother's womb. The cacophony of the insects swells, and you realize soon that you are back in the dense forest. You're lost, just like you were when you got separated from them. "Mom!" you cry. "Dad? Laurel? Bach? Please don't go. I'll be good. I promise. Don't leave me. Please, 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 please." Behind you, you still hear the tides. They've grown violent, crashing onto a now rocky coastline. You fall to your knees and hold your chest. You simply wish to be free. Why can't you just be free? You dig your fingernails into your chest, drawing a trickle of blood. Threads of magic begin to rip in twain. A wide hole opens from your birthmark, and a bright, turbulent light pours out, expanding faster than you can fully process. Your body lurches, and as you open your eyes, you hear screaming from voices you recognize. Bright colors swirl all over, and you notice Laurel and Errol and Ark and Dura and Rock and Lasha and everyone else grabbing hold of one another as their forms bend and contort to the forces of your own making. Your father, screaming as he held out his hand. You watched as his arms split open. Your mother, crumpling to the ground like a statue turned to dust. There was nothing you could do to stop it. This time, you pull. You're not exactly sure what you're latching onto. Some sort of woven rope as thick and rough as tree bark. You cry out in both fear and agony, and as though you can see yourself, you stare into the cavernous hole in your chest. On the other side are Mock and Bach, lying on the ground, the swirling energy around their forms matching yours. Help me, please! I can't stop it!" "Maëlie," you hear your mother's voice call out. "Maëlie, keep running!" Through the gaping pit in your chest, you watch as you, your mother, and your father run from cloaked pursuers. Your father stops and turns to them, drawing his sword. "Maëlie!" An urge tells you that you must go. You reach your hand inside the hole in your chest. Then you push your head in, your shoulders, your torso, your legs, your feet. Something shatters. As the last of your body steps into yourself, you are lifted into the air. A hand grabs yours. You see your father again, a forgotten memory replaying itself. "Maëlie, go!" I'm sorry, you cry as his body disintegrates once more. Your mother and father's forms fade into the distance. You grab the edges of the portal from the other side and seal it shut, as though you're stitching yourself back together. Your mother's sewing, which you watched with great fascination. Hundreds of painful needles prick your chest. Your vision goes black, but you sense yourself beginning to descend rapidly. Strong arms grab you before you impact the ground. Box. You open your eyes again to find him still intact, smiling down at you, eyes closed. You wrap your arms around Bach's neck and weep softly. I'm sorry. Around you are still the sounds of those cicadas. The air has a sticky, almost tropical sensation. The greens of the forest are more radiant than you've ever seen them, and thick vines are tangled every which way all along the floor. Where are we? You hear Mock say. He, too, is still intact, minus a few scratches on his face. No one else is here. And, as if in response to his question, hundreds of chittering voices begin to whisper in unison. Welcome, welcome, welcome! Giggling and jeering, they declare, Welcome to the Feywild!